and that's why price entered a bearish momentum. Okay, so let's move further. Let's move further. Same thing happened here. If you look at this same area from here, sellers entered aggressively, they drove the price down, and it crossed over the EMA. And if you look at the sharp trend cycle, you will notice that it has changed to a bearish cycle, which means sellers are more dominant in this market. So basically, it's just an indicator to tell you that, okay, this is the cycle that is currently dominant right now. So in this kind of cycle now, it's not going to be logical for you to be a buyer in this kind of cycle, because the majority of people in the market right now are sellers. And if you are going to be a buyer when the majority are sellers, then they are going to take your money from you. So this is the reason why you need an indicator like this that's going to tell you, okay, I think there is a bearish cycle right now. I would rather wait for the bearish cycle to be over before I can enter a buy order. I think that makes a lot of sense. So you cannot just enter the market at any time. You have to be conscious. You have to be aware of what is going on. Look at this. Okay, now look at this area now. Right now, we are currently in a bullish. Let me just draw that up for you. Right now, we are in a bullish cycle. And if you look at the STC, this is where the bullish cycle started from that candle. Let me try and zoom in. This is where the bullish cycle started from that candle right there. That's this one. That candle right there. That's where the bullish cycle started from. And you can see price has been going up, which means buyers are very dominant in this market. And this is currently where we are right now. If you look at the line. The line is very, very long. Now, if we're going to count how many hours buyers have been dominant, if you count from this candle, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's say 17. Currently, with this current hour, let's just make it 17 hours buyers have been dominant. So if your entry was made at this point, then you would have scored this amount of money. So basically, I think that is just an explanation on how the indicators work, how to set it up on your chart. So let's leave the chart. Let's go to our screenshots that we took for the signals that we got from the bot, and let's trace it to the EMA and the sharp trend cycle, and let's know how we made our entry and how you also could have made an entry. So we're going to leave TradingView now, and let's go to Telegram. So this is just going to be a very short video. We are strictly on chart analysis. What we are doing is just chart analysis. Okay. All right. So the first signal is confirm change direction on XRP bullish. So which means the bot signaled us that there is a bullish momentum coming up very soon. So let's see how that one looks like on the chart. Aha, very good. So now this is where the signal came out. Sorry. Let me just bring this one down a bit. Okay. So this is where the signal came out. Right here. At that time. And the time says Tuesday, the 9th of December 2025 at 15:30, which is 3:30 afternoon. But this is TradingView. TradingView is 1 hour behind. So which means in Nigerian time, it would have been 4:30. Let's confirm that with the timestamp. 4:31, like I said. So let's move on. So if you look at it, we have the EMA. This is the EMA. This is the EMA right here. This blue line. That's the EMA. And if you notice, prices were at a support level. That support level. And the moment we got the signal from the bot, prices were already moved. Like I've said earlier, there are times where the bot will send you a signal and the price doesn't move immediately. But there are times when the bot will send you a signal and immediately the signal comes out. Within the next 5 or 15 minutes, the price started moving. So in this case now, this is the case. This is the rather in this scenario, this is the case of price moving immediately the signal comes out. And as you can see, price clearly breaks above the EMA, like we said. And if you look at the candlestick pattern, 3 white soldiers, I tell you guys, this thing happens every time in the market. It happens every time. 3 white soldiers, the 3 white soldiers pushes the price above the EMA, and then what do we have? We have a very massive move to the upside. That's it. Very massive move to the upside. So I think that one is self-explanatory. Let's go to the next one because of our time. Okay, so we have how many signals here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think. Okay, 5. We have ETH, we have Solana, we have ADA, we have LTC, and we have APT. So let's just try and look at them real quick. So I think the first one will be ETH. Okay, this is ETH. Alright, so ETH. So as usual, I will draw the EMA so you can identify. This is the EMA. You can see that's the EMA, and we are at the support level. That's our support level. So when the signal came out from the bot, the signal came out from the bot around this time. Signal came out around this time. That's this time right here. And when it came out, if you notice, we had to wait for this amount of time before we would have made our entry. So you see, like I said, sometimes the signal comes, you might have to wait for a while. This is in this case now. In this scenario, actually in this scenario, this is the case. The last signal we saw, it moved immediately. The signal came out. So, and when we got to this point, the crossover. If you look at the same candlestick pattern again, guys, 3 white soldiers pushes the price above the EMA, and then we have this very big move to the upside. So basically, this is just how, okay, and let's look at what it says on the sharp trend cycle. Let's look at that briefly. How does the sharp trend cycle, okay, look at the sharp trend cycle now. This is what the sharp trend cycle is doing. Look at it. From this point, if you notice, from here to here, the sellers were a bit dominant, but by the time the buyers entered, they entered aggressively, and that was what created this 3 white soldiers candlestick pattern, and then they pushed it to the upside, which made the price to cross above the EMA. So I think that's self-explanatory. Let's go to the next one. The next one is Solana. Okay, same thing. Solana, the signal comes out at this point right here. We had to wait for this time, and then when we got to this point, look at the STC. This is the STC right here. This is where buyers take control. They claim their dominance, and the buying pressure increases, and they make the price to skyrocket. And if you look at this area, the same candlestick pattern, guys, same candlestick pattern, 3 white soldiers. They take the price up with force, and it moves with force. Exactly. So let's go to the next one. The next one is Cardano. So signal comes out here. We had to wait for this amount of time, and then when price crosses over with force, look at the sharp trend cycle. This was when the buyers actually gained dominance. Now in this one, in this current trend, there was a brief pause in that trend, and I want to talk about that. Right here, there was a pause in that trend after we crossed over the EMA and we identified the 3 white soldiers. There was a brief pause in that trend. That's right here. And now in that trend, what that simply means is that if you look at the STC, you will see that we have selling activity going on from that point, which means people who bought in at this price, they were taking off some part of their positions when the price got here. That was why we had a small pause or a brief pause in the price movement, and then all of a sudden it skyrockets again and continues the move to the upside. So the sharp trend, and if you notice when the sharp trend cycle turned green again, look at it from here. At that point, it was at this point. Sorry, let me just, from that point, it turned green again and started moving in the same direction. So that's just it, guys. So EMA, sharp trend cycle, the crossover happened, indicating that price has entered a bullish momentum, and then the buyers take it up with force. So let's go to the next one. This is Litecoin. Okay, so as usual, the signal comes out here, right there, and immediately the signal comes out. There was kind of like a crossover, but it's still an indication that bullish momentum is taking over. If you look at the sharp trend cycle right here, it turns green exactly when that crossover happened, which means buyers are gradually entering the market. They are gaining dominance. And if we were to take an entry on it, we would have waited for this time, because this was the crossover right here. Let me just highlight it. This was the crossover right here that made the trend now authentic, that it is really going up now. It was from that time. So the price pushed above the EMA, and if you notice, if I draw the lows, you will see that this low is lower than this low, and this low is lower than this low, which now created a trend line. So that indicates that buying momentum is becoming strong, and the price eventually moves up. Okay, so I think that's all the signals we have for this week. So like I said, the EMA, 10-period EMA, it calculates 10 candles, the average for 10 candles, and it plots a line on the chart like just what what you are currently seeing right now, the blue line. So the sentiment is when price, or rather the idea is when price crosses over, or when the candlestick crosses over the EMA, it indicates that price is now in a bullish momentum. And when price or the candlestick crosses below the EMA, and then price is now in a bearish momentum. And then for the STC, when the STC turns green, it simply means that buyers are gaining dominance. So you get, buyers are gaining dominance, and how long the STC line stays green determines how long buyers are gaining dominance in the market. I remember when we were on TradingView, we looked at the current price right now that is being bullish, and we looked at the time frame of how long price has been bullish, and we counted 17 hours. So that simply tells you that the buying pressure is still on, and it might still be on for the next 3 or the next 5 hours. So that's just what the sharp trend cycle does, which is the STC. That's what it does. It just gives you a sense of timing when buyers are gaining dominance, when sellers are gaining dominance. And if you are a seller, you cannot be a seller when the buyers are dominant. No, they're going to take your money from you, because they are going to be pushing prices into they're going to be moving the prices into higher prices. They're going to be moving prices up. And if you are a buyer, you cannot be a buyer when sellers are dominant, because they're going to be pushing prices lower. So I believe with these two indicators and our signal bots sending you signals from time to time, you should be able to navigate better on how to get a very good entry for your trades and then make some good money for yourselves. So we've come to the end of this training session for today. I would like to appreciate every one of us who is part of the Telegram group, and also give a just make a quick one that if you've not registered for your free trial for the Signal bot, please, what are you waiting for? Send a message. One of our admins will attend to you, get your details, connect you so you can start receiving from the bot. And we also want to put another one out there that we now have an automated system. So the first one we came out for was the Signal bot. So what the Signal bot does is it just sends you signals, and then you as the trader go to your Binance or your Bybit and then place the trade there manually. But now we now have an automated system, and the automated system runs via API, which means our robot is going to be the one placing the trade for you in your Binance, or rather for now the system is only compatible with Binance for now. I and our engineers, our programmers, we are working on Bybit and other exchanges, but for now the system that is fully functional right now is for just for Binance alone. So what we will need from you is just your API keys. Go to the registration bot. If you go to the Telegram group, information will be posted on how you can register for the automated trading. We are giving out a free trial for 1 month. Anybody who has money in your Binance account and you want to test the robot for 1 month, we are giving you a free trial. Test it out. If it's something that you feel it's okay for you and it's making you money, then you can subscribe to it. The details for subscription is all there. So all we need from you is your API key. We need your API key, your API secret. Then our robot can connect via API. At Danuvier Crypto Systems, we do not collect money from investors. Please, I will keep saying this thing. We do not collect money from investors, please. So nobody should impersonate us and tell you that we are collecting money from investors. Please, we will not condone any allegation that we collected. We do not collect money from any investor. As programmers and technological developers, we use our technology and our system to connect to you via API. We don't collect money from investors because we feel that your money is safer being on Binance, being on Bybit, being on any exchange of your choice. Your money is safer there. So what our system will do is our system will just connect to your account on these exchanges and then place the trade for you after you have given us your consent to go ahead. So we need your Binance API key. We will also need you to connect our robotic server, the server that handles the robot. We will need you to connect our server IP address to your account, which means after you have created an API key, under that same section you will see something called IP address whitelist. So which means you are going to have to tell your exchange to allow this IP address to access your account. That's the only way our robot can be in sync with your account and then place trades for you on your behalf. So I believe that's all the information we want to put out there. So the automated trading is currently live and it is making money. Actually, I'm using it with my account, of which in the coming days I'm going to be posting videos on the robotic performance on my account so that you can see that this thing is actually working. So once again, we'd like to say thank you so much for watching. And then from here, we are saying signing out. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.